Shalom everyone, this week it's going to be the Hilula, the yard site of one of the most famous rabbis since the time of the Torah even. A great rabbi from Morocco of the name Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeira, popularly known as the Abir Yaakov, very, very famous rabbi from Morocco. He was born in the year 1806 and came from a family of phenomenal lineage. I'll give you an example. His grandfather was a man, a gigantic rabbi named Rabbi Shmuel Elbaz. Okay, so who was he? There's the famous stories told over within regards to Chacham Shmuel Elbaz, that one time he was going to board on a ship and there was no room. They refused entry for some reason or not, and they were going to go through the seas to another place. And what happened? He took out a mat, let's just say a carpet of some sort, and put it by the water, and it miraculously floated to another place. He was a great rabbi, kabbalist. He was a Talmud of the Chaim Vital, his grandfather was, Rabbi Shmuel Elbaz. And then his father, Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira's father, Rabbi Chacham Masoud, also was a gigantic Rav in Morocco, one of the Posekadors, one of the Gadoladors, as they say, one of the great rabbis of his generation. In fact, he actually dreamt that he's going to have a son of the stature of the Abir Yaakov, of Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira. One night, the story says that he had to officiate a get ceremony. There was a couple that wanted a divorce, and he had to finalize the divorce for them. That night, in a dream, it came that he was told over with let's say with prophecy, that inside the dream, that this woman who had separated from the husband is going to potentially be the mother of a great tzaddik, and he is going to be the father. He is going to end up marrying her, and she also had the same dream on the same night, and it was verified very much so. So they have to wait because of the laws within regards to after divorce. A woman is not allowed to betroth after 3 months because of the possibility of pregnancy. They waited 3 months and then they got married, and then at a time later, they had Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira, who straight away, instantly, when there was a massive su'udah when he was born, and there was like a light lit inside the room, and already by the age of 10, he became one of the greatest rabbis inside. He became one of the greatest people, one of the potential rabbis in Morocco. He knew the whole of the Torah, the Nevi'im, Ketuvim. He knew the whole of the Mishnayot and the Gemara also, and at the age of only 16 years old, his rabbi, there was a great rabbi, his rabbi of the name of Rabbi Mordechai ben Shaul actually made a song in praise of him because of the great stature it was, of all the Torah he knew. He knew so much Torah. And his rabbi, Rabbi Mordechai ben Shaul, who was one of the great rabbis also of Morocco, actually felt fitting that to compose a very good melody on his behalf. At the age of 10, the story is saying that he met Eliyahu Hanavi, the legend says. So what happened was there was a massive famine in Morocco, inside the town he was in. He was actually born in the city of Tafilalach, which is a place in Morocco, Tafilalach. And inside this area there was a big famine and there was no food. And everyone in Morocco, they needed food. It was an emergency. It was a tight situation. People didn't have money. So he suggested at the age of 10, he'd go to the market and maybe he'd get lucky. Maybe he'll find some produce for the family to feed on. The family were full of tzaddikim. So he went out, and he miraculously saw a man and with a mule at the time, and a massive amount of wheat. And straight away, wow, it was like a very rare to see this, and especially at the time of the famine in Morocco. And he said, please wait a minute, our family needs a food, can we buy it? And they said yes. So they took the produce and they said, wait outside, we're going to pay. So he told the mother later, they gave ready to give the money, but the man disappeared and left the mule and the wheat there. And they tried everything to find out who this man was, who that they have to pay. But they found out, they knew that it was happened to be Eliyahu Hanavi that appeared over there, and that helped them sustain them for a very long period of time while there was this period of famine in Morocco that took place at that point in time. And at a young age, everyone knew that he was a great Torah scholar. At the age of 30, he was seen as a Posekador. He became the Rav of the area. He knew everything, was a master kabbalist, knew all the Kabbalah. He knew the entire Torah. He was giving shiurim the whole time. He wasn't just a person with shkida, with learning the whole time. He was giving shiurei Torah. He was writing many books. He authored at this stage in time. He was giving drashot. He gave tons and tons of money to charities, helped the widows, the orphans, and everyone across Egypt. They say many different stories are related from his students. He had a Talmud of Chacham Odaya and Ohayon or Ohana. Chacham Ohana. He actually related over in one of his Sefarim, Chacham Ohana, that he would go to sleep 60 breaths every night, which was in the modern time around half an hour. That's all he needed to sleep every day, because he was learning, he was immersed in Torah the entire day. He got up in Chatzot HaLayla, and he got up with tears, did Tikkun Hatzot, Tikkun Le'ah, and was immersed in the morning, was learning, delving in the deepest amounts of Kabbalah. After Shacharit every morning, he learned the Sefer called the Chok Yisrael, which was very popular to learn, especially in the Sephardic countries, and then later on learned the Talmud as the day progressed. He was learning pretty much nearly the entire day, if he wasn't giving over drashot or authoring books or whatever it might have been. One of the great rabbis from Morocco over the centuries. He had many students, many students, and he passed away. It happened to be around the year 1879. He finally wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael, to Israel. He wanted to go for a pilgrimage or whatever it might have been. So he was on his travels, and then in Egypt he fell sick, he fell ill at that stage in time, and he knew that it was possibly going to be the time where unfortunately he was going to pass away, and he passed away at the end in Egypt. And the funeral was attended by so many people of the Jews of Egypt. People came all over from Algeria, from Tunisia, from all over the African lands, from the Asian lands, to come pay respects. Remember, Chacham, the Abir Yaakov, was actually such a great rabbi that everyone in Morocco, they came to him for advice. The people, all the Muslims in Morocco were astounded by him, by his greatness, by the majestic appearance he had, by the great amount of Torah he had. Interesting enough, he was the Abir Yaakov, Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira, was actually born on the day when the Chidah had passed away. That was, as I've related over in some of the other videos I gave, about Chacham Yosef David Azulay, who I've related to. So as the sun had set, the sun had rose at the same time, as they say, as one great majestic rabbi had passed away, another one was born, the Abir Yaakov, respectively, and he left many books, many treasure books. He authored loads of books, including some of the books to name is Yagel Yaakov, which is also another famous book which is sold very much nowadays in Israel. The Petuchei Chotam HaMe'uvar is also another astounding book, which also talks all about, relates all over the different parts of Torah. He wrote an authorship within regards to the Chumshei Torah, with the 5 books of Moses, which is called the Machsof Halavan Ala Torah, which is also sold and popularly used. Many people give drashot in Hebrew even nowadays, as I have to mention. There was also the Doresh Tov, which is also a very very book, also very much used nowadays, and the Bigdei Hasrad also. I think there's also books he wrote within regards to the Haggadah, very famous authorships, within regards to the Chagim, within regards to the Torah and the Talmud and the Kabbalah, respectively, many. His rabbi, as I said before, was Rabbi Mordechai ben Shaul, who was one of the greatest rabbis of his time. And all of his descendants happened to ended up being great tzaddikim. In fact, one of his grandchildren was the Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abuhatzeira, one of the great rabbis of the last 100 years that had lived, one miracle worker. He is nicknamed as from many people in, especially in Israel, the Baba Sali. So he came from very great, not just great lineage. He left us with many great tzaddikim. Nearly all of his descendants became the great Sephardi Rabbanim here living in Israel, even in modern day, as must be related over. And nowadays there's even many schools that are named after him, many synagogues here in Israel that are named after him. In fact, just near my house over here, right behind me, there's a synagogue which I daven in, which is called the Bet Knesset Abir Yaakov. There are schools named after him. There's neighborhoods in Israel, big neighborhoods that are named after him. The Chacham Yaakov, for example, which is there. There's schools for kids. There's yeshivot, many yeshivot, and there's mostot, foundations that are over here that are supplying foods for charities and everything else for people in need. There's so many different organizations named after this huge rabbi, one of the great rabbis, arguably from the last few hundred years. And he was buried naturally in Egypt, because that's where he passed away. He fell ill, and many people, even nowadays, They come visit his grave when it comes to his Hilula, especially this week. In fact, for many, many years, since he passed away, 140 years nearly, especially the Egyptian government very much treasured the location where the Abir Yaakov was buried, because they saw it as a very, very historic site. So now, even modern days, people very much revere him, revere his teachings. And I think it's a good idea we learn it more in English language. Many of the people wherever we are in England, in Canada, in America, in Mexico, maybe start organizations in his memory. And do many more starts and whatever we could do, and learn his great teachings. I plan, hopefully, to give more teachings on his Torah, on the Chumash Torah, and use his Sefarim also. So he was a Moroccan rabbi, and Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira, one of the great rabbis to come since the times of the Torah, Nevi'im and Ketuvim, respectively, guys. And the maze, he actually, they say many other stories. Let me just add on a few more words. They say that he took on many fasts upon himself throughout the years where he was living as a atonement. They say that fasting potentially brings an atonement for all of Am Yisrael. So he used the fast that he did, as a kapara for the whole of Am Yisrael, for wherever the people were. He was learning Torah the whole day, and barely slept throughout his life, every single day, because he was so immense. He wore his talit the whole time and was immersed in Kedusha the whole time. One of the great rabbis of the last 1,000 years. And that was Chacham Yaakov Abuhatzeira. I want to wish you all a great day, guys. I want to also do this talk of a man that suddenly passed away recently, Avram ben Bracha. Sali passed away. He was also a very, very much a man that admired the Abir Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeira had a massive picture of him in his living room. So guys, have a very good day, and Bez Hashem, everyone is just going to see brachot. Have a great day.